Okay, so here's what we're not going to do on this show, and I'm not talking to you guys because you don't do it, but a lot of the community does. We're not going to play a game of is the Minnesota shooting worse than what happened to Charlie Kirk? We're not going to play the game of is January 6th justified? Okay, both sides, all sides, have done things that involve political violence, and sometimes it's been done without the censure of politicians. President Trump, of course, pardoned the January 6th people convicted around January 6th. Senator Sanders, in his extraordinary 4 minutes remarks yesterday, talked about political speech and freedom and all that. He didn't say, I regret not speaking out for the last 3 decades as people on my side of the aisle have intimidated conservatives from speaking at college campuses. I wish he had, and if I can get a question to him, I'm going to ask him about it. There needs to be political leadership. And we have one president right now, just the one, and he's not inclined to call his side out, as presidents of both parties have done in the past at times. It's still politics. But what's important is there's a lot of anger. You hear it here, but there's a lot of anger all over the country. And if you're not listening to Sean's explanations over the last couple of days of why his side is so angry, you're making a big mistake, because it's history and it's the reality from the president on down within the MAGA movement. Okay. Many of you who are part of this community feel it too. Many of you would take that same list of grievances and say, this is why I voted for Donald Trump, a man I would never have thought I would have voted for and who I disagree with on a lot of stuff, but I voted for him for this exact reason. And you take all of that stuff built up over decades, and then you add the murder of a friend of so many and a symbol, not just of ideas, but of political power. Charlie Kirk had 50 years ahead of him of leading to conservative victories, victories of ideas, of public relations, and electoral victories. So this young man, allegedly, whoever killed him, took off the playing field one of the most valuable players in the modern MAGA movement. And so anyone on the left who doesn't understand why that's causing a lot of emotion, you're not listening closely enough to Sean. But I'll also say again, someone has to cool it down. And Bernie Sanders and Speaker Johnson can do so much. But people on the right, you have to understand, people on the left are upset too. Different things for the most part, but they're upset too. And I just don't, one more thing. I do not understand why people say to me, Mark, give up. You'll never contribute to bringing the country together. Someone has to try. We all have to try, because we're on a horrible trajectory. We've been on this since the Bork hearings, on this path. But someone has to try to change it. And I guarantee you that would be Charlie's preference. Sean.
I think what you said is the key. You haven't heard me point any fingers. I'm not, Dan, I think does an amazing job of trying to articulate his side. That's what we're supposed to do. What I want people to understand is exactly that, why this is so friggin' visceral. This didn't happen overnight. I'm not here blaming anybody. I'm not, like I said, I can't imagine the seat that Dan's in today. There are days when we have news and I'm like, God, I don't want to be the one having to explain this. But what we do here is try to explain it. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not pointing any fingers, but I want everyone who watches this and everyone who listens to this to understand that this isn't just the passing of a figure. This is an attempt to squelch a movement, and it manifested itself. Charlie was at a university to bring people together, to have dialogue, which we all talk about, and yet you can't, we don't do winners and losers in a week like this. But it scares me, after what I've been through after the last 10 years, to think how hard it's been to be on a college campus, to know what it's like personally, and to go, okay, after this week, name me one conservative that's going to have the same chutzpah and strength that Charlie Kirk did to sit in an open air environment of any sort on a campus, to want to have that discussion. It would scare the crap out of me. I'll tell you this, I don't have the strength that Charlie does to do that after what I just saw. And I think that people have to understand that what happened today wasn't just about Charlie Kirk. It's about stifling discussions going forward.
Please listen to, thank you, that was great. Please listen to Senator Sanders. I'll say for the third time, because it's so good and so important. All right. Want more great clips like that? I've got an idea. Hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss a clip, and you can always watch our full episodes, join them live, go to twoway.tv.